Only at this point, I would recommend you to actually tapping straight away, right after the transition. I recommend a slow and consistent pace, just so you know how to stay in control of what you're doing. And I see a lot of kids that just learn this transition and they just go so fast that they don't even control the head spin. This is basically just playing with fire because you never know if you're gonna crash or not. You really need to master whatever you wanna learn. And that's why I'm here. Once you start to understand all of this, then you're actually already doing pretty clean windmill to head spins. The explosiveness will depend on how good your windmill and your head spin is. If you can't let your hands go while doing a head spin, then you can't expect to make it look too crazy yet. But of course, you gotta keep practicing. Once you manage to do this and get into these taps, then you should actually start from a real windmill. And try and transition the leg technique from your backspin, ninja kick position, straight into the windmill from now on. It's exactly the same thing and it's exactly the same feeling. And just make sure you don't crash, of course. Once you master all of this, a really good exercise for you to do at this point is doing multiple windmill to head spins. You wanna go from a windmill to a head spin, back to windmill, back to head spin, back to windmill, back to head spin. And the first windmill to head spin should feel as good as the last one. That's when you know that you got your technique on lock. All right, great job, guys. Even though I can't see you practice. But anyways, great job. So now it's time to learn this transition no-handed. And that's what you want, right? Then hit the like button down below. So for the no-handed windmill to headspin transition, we actually want to go back to the backspin / ninja kick position. As previously explained, the leg and hip work is one of the most important things when learning this transition. And now it will be the only tool you have to get into that headstand. To be able to learn this transition, you need a good no-handed headspin. And I'm talking about a good one, guys. Don't f with me. Start again by rolling back to your head and using 10% of speed. Try this with a little bit of hands first, as at this point I don't really know how strong your neck is. Come to think about it, you just might be an 80-year-old woman watching my tutorials. What am I doing? Just make sure you know how to do a normal windmill to headspin before trying this out, which is kind of logic, right? So by doing this slow motion ninja kick with 10% of speed, you want to use your hips and legs to get that bounce and then push off with your head. From here, you want to try and enter a slow motion headspin with your arms and legs nice and open for good balance. And for this move right here, I have to give a really big shout out to one of my students, my main man Sis, because he has murdered this move. Here, check him out at freestyle session a few years back. Mad balance, completely crazy, and a major inspiration for me to help you guys get your windmill to headspin to that next level. So once you know how to do this from the ninja kick or backspin position, then you kind of know the feeling and the technique you need to apply this in a normal windmill. And as you already figured out, your legs have to do most of the work while slightly pushing with your head, but not too much, because you don't want to get those neck cramps, right? So once you can do any form of windmill headspin, then you can start to be creative and cook your own stuff. Maybe going from a windmill to a headspin variation, or maybe going from a backspin no-handed into a headspin, or any type of windmill variation into any type of headspin variation. Or maybe you could do your legs in a certain position during your windmill and keep that position up into that headspin. And this way you can create a lot of stuff by yourself, because that is what the game is all about. And follow the motherfucking rules, motherfucker. Because Coach Sambo right here is not doing everything for you. You gotta do it yourself. What you can do is film this and send this to my Instagram so I can check it out and give you some feedback on that. And even if you don't know how to do it, then send me a video of that and I would love to help you out with that. Also, if you want private sessions, workshops, or classes, then just DM me that and we'll take care of that. And also you will find tons of additional training content on my Patreon really soon. So did you like this tutorial? Well, I hope so, because I did use 125% of my brain capacity to make this for you. So if you enjoyed it, just spam the comment section so you can help me out rank all the way up to #1 in this YouTube game. Also, let me know what tutorials you want to see next, because I'm real and I'm reading your comments. So let me just hear from you so we can make this work. It's a win-win situation. Because at the end of the day, when you think about it, it's all about that B-boy shit. What's up, guys? This is your boy Coach Sambo right here, your online b-boy coach. And today in this video, we're gonna check out my top 10 b-boy showcases ever. So b-boy showcases is something that is slowly dying and dying. Because the growth of one-on-one competitions, the crew formats in the b-boy scene are supported less and less. I grew up watching Battle of the Year, R16, and even things like America's Best Dance Crew. So for me personally, b-boy showcases and teamwork is unavoidably part of the b-boy life and culture. So I think b-boy showcases and teamwork will keep declining over the years, but I think at some point it will come back. And you know, I just want to stimulate that juice by making this video and getting everybody motivated and juiced up to work together as a team and create showcases and routines. Because let's face it, we have unlimited fucking potential as b-boys and b-girls. Especially if we work together. So let's just pop into these top 10 showcases right here. And I just want to say that I'm not covering hip-hop crews or any other crews that would do other styles and use crazy tricks or moves. I'm purely gonna cover b-boy B-boy crews only. Because this channel right here is all about that B-boy shit. So let's start off with number 10. And for number 10, I'm gonna promote my own crew. Sorry guys, but yeah, basically on the number 10 spot, we have Team Schmeda representing this showcase right here. So you might have seen a Battle of the Year, but preferably the version I like the most is the one that we performed at R16 Korea in 2012.
Get the fuck out, throw your hands in the sky.
Crazy air moves and blow-ups, everything on beat, mad energy, wild style, Team Schmeda style, that's how we do it. And I just want to share with you guys that this showcase actually had a tie with Jinjo crew at R16 2012. So we're really proud of that, and you know, I love the showcase personally, so I just thought I would give it a number 10 spot to keep the Schmeda vibe alive, baby. Moving on to number 9. For number 9, we have B-Boy Storm, the legendary B-Boy Storm, doing a solo showcase at Block Party. And after watching this, the only thing I can say is that Storm is simply a genius. No crew, no crazy flips, all by himself, the one-man show with a crazy concept. Really thought it through and really took his time to actually bring the whole story into picture. Just taking you with him on his underwater adventure. And it's one of those showcases that you watch, and then once you watched it, you're kind of sorry you already watched it because you just want to watch it again to get that feeling once more. So shout out to Storm with this water showcase. It's awesome, it's insane. Check it out, the link is in the description. Number 8, we're heading to Battle of the Year, and we're checking out Last for One crew from Korea with this number 8 spot with a super clean show. But what makes this even better is that they have such character and charisma that it's actually really fun to watch, but also you still get the visuals of a typical Korean clean crew. And a big shout out to B-Boy 09, always killing it with the really, really tight, clean phrases. Shout out to Last for One crew, I ain't forgetting y'all. Moving on to number 7, we have Extreme crew from Korea with one of the first showcases that they ever brought out. And it just changed b-boying and b-boy showcases forever at that point. Because they brought these showcases with very high energy and very hard moves, well placed at the right moment, at the right time. Their crew name actually says it all, Extreme crew, and the time of extremeness
has arrived.
I'm not sure in what year this was.
Let me just look it up really quick.
So this was back in 2005, and these guys just literally came out of nowhere and just raised the bar massively for anyone trying to compete in this kind of stuff. And influencing tons of b-boys like myself that are today coaching a lot of kids. Not to forget B-Boy Beak that kills it every time with the freeze combos. This guy is a freaking machine. We need more of that these days, man. I'm telling you straight out. Moving on the number 6 spot, we have Body Carnival from Japan, also a Battle of the Year, bringing this super smooth, classy, jazz theme-ish b-boy showcase. To be honest, I just love the first track they use in this. I really feel the vibe and the flow of this showcase, and I've watched it tons of times, just enjoying it every time more and more. I gotta give it up for them for their taste. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. Number 5, I'm giving it to Gamblers crew because in 2005, they came out with literally the crew with the most specialists ever. There was this guy that was just specialized in one-hand balance. They had another guy that was just specialized in head spins. And basically, all these guys were really the best at whatever they were doing. And they managed to just raise the bar once more. Korea's always raising the bar. The showcase, all in all, isn't all that crazy. The concept isn't all that mad. But, you know, the moves they do and the extremeness of that. Like, look at this, man. The guy's doing a one-hand balance with another guy hanging on him. Doing something like that on a stage like Battle of the Year, you know, it's just raising the bar once more. This is just stuff we have to respect. So shout out to Gambler's Crew for the number 5 spot. Number 4 is Jinjo Crew with their super clean, super efficient showcase at Battle of the Year International 2018. I watched this show live and I was like, all right, what do they got? And you know, they just came out with this super epic, you know, champion winner showcase, but not overdoing it at all. Just really keeping it simple, clean. But the key highlights were really highlights and well placed, well choreographed. Number 4 spot for Jinjo Crew with their super awesome champion showcase. All right, moving on to the top 3. Let me just remind you that I have tons of tutorials on my YouTube channel that you can watch. Also, I have tons of vlogs with my students or just like funny b-boy videos. Definitely check out Coach Sambo's YouTube channel and just leave a random comment down below telling me what's your favorite showcase and why. And don't forget to hit that like button really quick so you can help me boost my channel up to number 1. All right, so the 3rd place for top 10 showcases right here.
And we're going straight into the gold right now.
Expression Crew, also from Korea. And I'm not gonna take one of their Battle of the Year showcases. I'm gonna take this showcase right here. And this is the first showcase that I have ever seen using blacklight and masks. And I think they actually did this before the Jabberwocky started doing this. Basically, the years that have followed, a lot of people have duplicated this concept and theme, but these guys were the first one. Also, what I have to say is that although people use the concept in many different ways, I still have to be honest, and I just have to say that this crew right here and this showcase, specifically this showcase, really gives me goosebumps. The creativity level is just really high. You can just feel the passion just glowing off the showcase while watching it. It's definitely a top 3 worthy. I could have put it on number 1, but you know, it's just so hard. You know, they're actually all good in their own unique way. On the 2nd place, we have Morning of Owl with this showcase at Battle of the Year Korea a while back. And while Morning of Owl has a lot of really good showcases, I specifically chose this one because they really took a gamble on their concept and theme. And they basically did this whole showcase without using music. So that just goes to say how good of a feel they have as a crew and you know how much they believe in what they're creating because they just brought this to Battle of the Year. And I'm not going to give away the clue at the end of the showcase, but what I am going to say is head down to the description down below after watching this video and just check the showcase out for yourself. Unbelievable, definitely worthy of a top 3. And here we have it, my personal best showcase ever. And this one is going out to Fireworks from Japan. And why? Because, you know, overall the show might have not been that clean as shows are today, but the creativity level was on another planet. And it basically just showed Japanese b-boy character, thinking, style in their showcase. All the details in the showcase are really original, well thought of, and also beautifully brought into character. We have multiple highlights such as the mirror moment that are crazy detailed, taking us through their journey of insaneness and extremeness. I mean, look at this point right here where they actually create a monster, opening the mouth and using that as an entry for this b-boy right here. I don't know his name, man. If you know his name, please let me know in the comments. The guy is literally hanging in the Battle of the Year ropes between the lighting and all that. This is b-boying at its finest. They're super free in creating whatever they want, doing whatever they want, and it just represents their character and their style as a crew. And not forgetting the finishing touch at the end with the firework moment. Because of course, it's Fireworks Crew. Madness, you know, probably one of the sickest showcases ever to be performed on this planet. All right, guys, this was my top 10 on B-Boy showcases right here, and I hope you enjoyed it. Now, of course, there are a lot of other showcases out there that are really good, and I could make another video about that, but just let me know in the comments if you want that or not. Also, maybe just tell me what showcase you thought would be top 10 worthy, and maybe we can feature that in a next video. So I hope you guys learned a lot from this video. I hope you guys enjoyed a lot of these showcases, and I hope you actually came into contact with crews and showcases that you might have never seen before. Don't forget, work as a crew, because together our potential is unlimited, my friends. This is your boy Coach Sambo right here, and I'll see you on a next video on my YouTube channel. Peace! Yo guys, what's up, and welcome to another best tutorial here with your man B-Boy Sambo. And in this video, I will learn you the easiest and smartest way to learn a windmill handstand. If you can do a windmill to handstand, you will unlock combos like windmill 90s, windmill 2000s, windmill air flares, and all of that. So first of all, if you're not able to do a windmill or a handstand, this video is a complete waste of time for you. So make sure you can do a good windmill and a good handstand to learn how to go from a windmill to a handstand. If you need help on windmills or a handstand, then I definitely recommend you to watch my tutorials on the windmill or on the handstand. Also, on my channel, you will find tons of other tutorials and a whole lot of breaking content. So make sure you hit the subscribe button right here. Nice subscribe button. So hit that button right there to subscribe so you can stay up to date on all my latest videos. So we're gonna start this off by rolling backwards and try and push up all the way up to a handstand. You do need a decent amount of strength to push yourself off. That's why you need to have a good handstand. Also, while doing this, you're gonna pull your legs in and kick them out to create a hop or a pump to push yourself up. Make sure your legs and your arms work together at the same time, synchronized, to get your weight all the way up. If you can roll backwards to a good handstand, manage to stay up there for a while, then that's a really good start to learn windmill to handstand. If this is still hard, then I will actually recommend you to train that first before moving on with the other steps. All right, next up is we're going to start from a backspin, or what I call a ninja kick position. From this position, you're actually creating a little bit of speed, but let's just say you're using 10% of the actual speed you would use if you would do a normal backspin. As I'm executing half a windmill or a backspin, I'm placing my hands to the side as I would do in a normal windmill, and not to the back as we have first done in the first rollback exercise. What we are doing is still pulling our legs in to create the push we need to go up. So if you manage to coordinate the arms and the legs at the same time, you should be able to get out of this backspin or windmill position really easy. Hopping from your windmill or your backspin out onto your feet is actually the technique we are going to use from going from a windmill to a handstand. Now, if you manage to do this combo, the biggest problem is it's so easy that people are going to use speed. But if you still have to learn the windmill to handstand transition, then cut down on the speed. We're gonna go from 10% to 3% of your speed. Because if you're kicking too fast, you're gonna spin to the side. But what we actually wanna do is roll to the back all the way into your handstand. So now we're gonna try and go from the ninja kick position straight into the handstand. You want to use even less speed for this. The less speed you use, the easier it will become for you to get into that handstand. Because what we're doing at this point is not a backspin. We're actually rolling to the back into our handstand. So 3% of your actual speed. Create a little bit of rotation, roll backwards over your shoulder, push the floor with your hands at the same time as your legs kick out. At this point, the most common mistake is the arms that get all tangled up. And I used to have this problem as well. I would actually manage to get into a handstand, but my arms would be all tangled up, and that would make it really hard to continue into a 90 or into an air flare or into whatever. So this is the trick. You push up, and the moment your body is heading towards that handstand is the moment you already have to start walking. A lot of people push up, get tangled up, and because they've been tangled up for so long, they instantly lose balance and control. So what you want to do is push up, and while you're still on your way up, you want to create those steps to make sure you do not lose balance or control. This is the key for learning windmill to handstand. And this is something I figured out after a lot of hard work. And if you manage to start moving on time, then you'll probably get a real handstand out of it. And this is good news because if you can do this, this means that you're really close to the windmill 90s or windmill 2000s or windmill air flares or windmill whatever. So this is the part you have to practice the most. Rolling back up into that handstand and trying to connect it with a spinning handstand, or maybe even already a 90 or a 2000 or even an air flare. Just make sure whatever move you put behind this, that you pass through a good and stable handstand. And I'm gonna tell you guys straight up, the guy who actually explained me how to go from a windmill to a handstand is no one other than B-Boy Omar from the Jive Turkeys, first BC1 champ. And I saw this guy at IBE 2003 and he was giving like power move workshops, and he actually told me that if you wanted to go from a windmill to an air flare, that you had to pass through the handstand. And you know, it sounds pretty logic now, but back in the days, like, who knew? So I just want to give a big shout out to Omar from Jive Turkeys. I don't know if he would be watching this video. Why would he need to watch this video? But if he would be watching this, you know, big shout out to you, my man. You're a big inspiration. And, you know, I wouldn't be doing this if you wouldn't explain me how to do it. All right, so shout out to you, bro. Credits are due. All right, so we're gonna move on. So how do we actually convert the ninja kick or backspin position to an actual windmill? This isn't the hardest part. You actually pass the hardest part. Right? So if we're starting from a windmill, what you wanna do is you want to start from your baby freeze position. You want to create the rotation you would usually do, but when you hit the floor with your back, you want to pull those legs in because we want to create double the pump you would usually do for any other move. By creating a really big pump, you'll manage to gather enough bounce and strength to get all the way up there. But don't forget, once you're pushing up, the first thing you have to do is start walking before you lose control. There's no point in training this fast. You have to be able to do it slow. If you can do it slowly, then you'll finally manage to do it faster and faster and faster and start to get that flow. But the most important thing here is that you get up to the handstand and you manage to hold that handstand. If you're doing something that really looks the same, but you're not mastering that handstand, you gotta go back to the ninja kick or the backspin position. And if you can't do that, you gotta go back to the rollback to handstand. And if you can't do that, you gotta go back to handstand. Logic, right? And once you're in a stable handstand, you're absolutely free to do whatever you want. You could do a 90, a 2000, an air flare, or even like an air flare 1.5. It's all good. The choice is all up to you. So while practicing this, you want to take your time, you want to use your brains, and of course, you have to be really, really patient. And if you don't have any patience, then practice more. Aight?
Police officers in the hospital.
Chaotic scene.
Kapow! Coach Sambo here, of course, your online B-Boy coach. I'm sorry.
Now give me 5 push-ups.
Und willkommen everyone to this roll back to one hand tutorial. And in this tutorial, I will also be showing you how to roll back to your elbow freeze or elbow pike, and I will also show you how to roll back to your air chair. And the roll back to your elbow freeze is for free, and so is the air chair. And so is the roll back to the one hand. It's actually all for free, so hit that like button down there, supporting your coach right here, making you the next BC1 champ. So the roll back to one hand is a killer way to finish off your round during a battle. And it can be used in many different ways, and you might just be the person to bring it to the next level. So to learn the roll back to one hand, you need to be able to do a really good handstand. You also need to know how to do pikes or L kicks. And for this, you also want to be able to roll back to a good handstand, which is kind of logic, right? Also, something I really, really recommend for you guys is to be able to do a kip up, because the feeling of a kip up is, you know, it's kind of similar to the roll back to one hand. And to be even more precise, it's kind of similar to a one-handed kip up, if you ever tried that. I actually never tried it. I'm gonna try it for the first time for this video, because I'm sure it's kind of like the same feeling. So, well, there you go. I can do it. And I recorded that after recording this, so I really did try it for the first time. So if you need help with all of that, I recommend you just run to my YouTube channel and just look at the tutorials that might help you on all of these moves. And hit the subscribe button right there if you realize that this is the best channel for your breaking tutorials. You know what? He's right. So here we go, and get ready to get your minds blown, because nobody will explain you this the way I will in this video, unless they have already watched this video or they might be one of my students. So here we go. Start out by rolling back to a handstand a few times just to get in that flow. Try and be light and energetic. I even recommend you to just let yourself fall a few times just to be ready for action. Just make sure you don't hurt yourself. Now, before I actually start to explain you guys how to roll back to one hand, we have to know what one hand actually is, because there are many different ways of standing on one hand. So the position we are going to roll to first is what I call a pike, or a
Pikeroo.
And let me just add here, to make this the best tutorial ever on roll back to one hand, that you actually have to practice this on both sides, because practicing this on both sides will give you major advantage in the future if you're taking this b-boy shit really seriously. The difference between a pike and just standing on one hand is that your upper body is faced towards the ceiling while your legs are folded towards you. And while we're gonna learn this roll back to one hand pike, you wanna keep your legs open and stretched first before trying other forms, because this is actually the easiest way to learn this one. And once you master it, you can try and do all sorts of crazy stuff. So a good way to start evolving towards that roll back to one hand is by using two hands to push up to a handstand, and from here you want to hop or let one hand go until you get into that pike destination. And I know a lot of you guys aren't gonna practice this on both sides, but you're forgetting who's the coach here. And if you don't listen to your coach, then you now give me 5 motherfucking push-ups. So you really want to try and stick that freeze. The impact and the effect triples if you hit that freeze nice and tight, and especially if you kill the beat with it. And this is actually already usable for you. And okay, it's not the roll back to one hand yet, but if you can do this nice and clean, you can already use this for whatever you want to use it. And it's definitely better than nothing. This was a really good warm-up for the roll back to one hand, but the technique and the secret trick behind the roll back to one hand is completely different. And I hope you're paying really good attention right now, because let me say it again.
It's completely different.
And it's actually gonna feel more like a one-handed kip-up, as I mentioned earlier. So the golden rule for the roll back to one hand is keeping your upper body directed towards the ceiling at all times. And this is the most common mistake I see when teaching someone this move, because they link it so much to the roll back to handstand, which has your upper body facing the front. We actually want to keep our upper body towards the ceiling at all times. So the next exercise is rolling back and creating a kip up with one hand while landing in a one-handed bridge. As you can see here, my arm here is stretched, simulating the pike destination. Also, my upper body is facing up. And it's not only facing up at the end, it's facing up during the whole process of me doing this roll back kip up move. While rolling back, you need to push that arm at all costs. Your arm has to be unstoppable. You know what I mean? Like, bam! Bam! Whatever happens, that arm is stretched. Meanwhile, it's okay for you to land on your feet while creating that one-handed bridge and get all of your body weight all the way up. And that's why this next technique is absolutely revolutionary, and you will only find this with Coach Sambo. So the science behind this is letting your hips end up lower than they would do when doing a normal roll back to one hand. This enables you to focus more on the technique and absorb the feeling a lot faster, because this is basically it already. So while you're positioning your arm for the pike, we have a lot less weight to carry up because we let the hips drop, making the entry to one-hand pike possible. Once you get into that low pike, you need to finish up clean as soon as possible. So like an applejack, we're gonna kick our legs back out and try to land on our feet nice and swiftly. And if this all works, I need to take time to congratulate you personally. Congratulations. So now you're already kind of there. And the more you do this, the better it will feel, the more speed you will harvest while rolling back, and the higher you will go with your hips, ending up in a complete normal pike. Also, it's good to know that when you're rolling back, you need a good leg pump to help you get all the way up there, of course. But the key elements and the secrets in this tutorial is basically keeping your chest faced up and stretching that arm at all costs. And it's exactly the same thing if you're gonna do this on your elbow or with an air chair. The chest stays up and the arm positions itself where it needs to be. Make sure while doing a elbow pike or an air chair that you keep your legs folded towards you so you can kick them back out and land nice and swiftly. on those feet. Also, I have to add that if you're rolling back into an air chair, you have to make sure that you place the elbow where it has to be placed by stabbing your elbow on the side of your hips. And it may feel awkward in the start, so I actually just recommend you rolling back to a Hong 10 freeze or, something similar to that. And if you need help on Hong 10 freezes, then check out my ultimate baby freeze tutorial where I show you all variations that are possible with the baby freeze. You know me, bro, it's 125%
Quality.
And once you master your rollback to one hand or elbow or air chair, then you can start to get creative and start doing things that you would have never thought could be possible. Just let me add here again that if you really want to become the next level b-boy, you have to train all of this on both sides. So you need to be able to do it pike on both sides, elbow freezes on both sides, and air chairs on both sides. And I know I'm asking a lot, but I have one question for you.
Do you want to become the best or not?
Then train your shit on both sides. Because you, the future generation, have to bring it to the next level. So me and my generation, when we're old and grumpy, we can sit on our couch, watch the Olympics, and see some
Next level shit.
And if you manage to learn the rollback, then post it on your Instagram and tag me, because I will repost it, and I just love to see you guys learn new stuff. Just don't forget to tag me, of course. And if you can't pull the move off yet, then send me a video of that, and I would be more than happy to help you out. That's right, Coach Sambo's customer service is at your service. Good morning, this is Coach Sambo's customer service. How can I help you? Oh, you're stuck with 2 halos, eh? Leave me alone! And what tutorials do you guys want to see next? Let me know so I can get to work. And be honest. Like really honest. This was a pretty good tutorial, right? So if you agree, just spam the comment section so I can rank this video up to number 1. Because commenting and liking and sharing and all that boosts up the stats, and it basically boosts up Coach Sambo's YouTube channel, making me number 1. Because at the end of the day, when you think about it,
Just give me 5 push-ups.
it's just all about that b-boy shit. Do you love power moves and tricks? Good. Then I bet you have to work on your musicality. What's up, y'all? This is your man, Coach Sambo.
Now give me 5 push-ups.
And for all those who know me already, you're in for a very big surprise today, because I'm not here with another power move or trick tutorial. I'm here with a video on musicality. That's right. After tons of power move and trick tutorials, a musicality tutorial. And I'm not sure if this is the first musicality video out there, but I bet nobody will explain you musicality in b-boying as I will in this video. And I'm gonna be really honest with you guys. Musicality, that's the real deal. It's the source and probably the reason you started breaking. Because sometimes when you listen to music, you just catch that groove and it just makes you want to move, and So when it comes to freestyle dancing, musicality is something that's really underrated when it comes to teaching the dance. And this goes for any style of dance, but especially for us b-boys and b-girls, musicality is one of the things that separates us from trickers, stunt performers, and all these kind of athletes. Music can create the craziest moment just out of the blue if interpreted the right way. So let me just start out by saying that this is not a top rock tutorial. Although this video could help you bring your top rocks to the next level, I will not be explaining any kind of steps, patterns, choreography, or moves. Musicality development tips and concepts only. And there's more than enough top rock tutorials for you to find on the YouTube. So do that if you want to learn new top rock steps. However, if you want to learn power move combos and tricks, then just head on over to my YouTube channel, because I have tons and tons and tons of quality tutorials for you guys. And if you realize that this is the best YouTube channel for your breaking tips, then just hit the subscribe button right there and the notification bell so you can stay up to date on all of the latest videos that I will be uploading on this YouTube channel. Besides that, if you want to book me personally for workshops, classes, judging, or even battling, or you want to book some battle droids, then just DM me or just head on over to my website. Alright, so before starting, I just want to say that you can interpret music however you want, besides all of these concepts and tips that I will be giving you in this video. And as a dancer, you should be completely free to change, learn, and enjoy anything that could help you in your dance career. I just hope you learn a lot from this video, and I hope to see you rock the beat someday. And then just don't forget to hit that like button right there to support your coach right here, making you the next BC1 champ. So let's start with the first tip right here, pre-build-up moments. So the DJ just dropped the track, and you hear the melody or some kind of intro, but the beat hasn't dropped yet. This is a really common mistake, is a lot of people start to do their top rocks before the beat is actually dropping. This is very common with beginners. So hold your top rock until you hear the beat drop. However, when the build-up is busy, you're free to do whatever you want. Taking the music in, or just bouncing and building up your energy. Maybe just look at your opponent, start calling him out, but just hold your top rocks and your moves until the beat drops. Also, something I have to add right here is, of course, when the music stops, you stop.
Nigga really wanna stop.
But I bet you probably already knew that. But still, I had to add it to this video to make this the best motherfucking tutorial on musicality ever. So before moving into musicality concepts, I'm gonna give you certain tools you can use to work with. These tools will be simple moves you can actually use to apply the concepts I will be sharing with you in this video. The first tool is the easiest one. It's simply bouncing and feeling the music. The second tool are stances and poses. The third tool is any kind of basic top rock. The fourth one is burns and hand gestures and storytelling. And the fifth one can be anything you want, from hops to footwork to full rounds, or maybe just everything gathered together if you have enough experience. And just to be clear on this, you can actually apply anything you want to these concepts, but I'm just giving you something easy to work with so you can build up and then just do your own thing. Because at the end of the day, when you're using all of this in battle, you should be able to apply it in any type of situation with any type of move. And that demands a lot of knowledge and experience. So here we go, guys, take it all in. So moving into our first musicality concept, we're just gonna start with the basic rhythm. And musicians use one of these metronomes right here to keep the rhythm of the song they're playing. So the rhythm is basically just like the speed or the pace of your track or song or melody or whatever. This can already be determined by one sound just repeating itself. And to help me explain this to you guys, I'm just gonna use a program really quick on my computer called Logic Pro. Usually to create a hip hop beat or a break beat, you need two sounds: the kick and the snare. Once you hear your kick or your snare, you can determine how fast your track is, and that pace is the rhythm of the song.
Great Scott.
And this is the perfect first step for beginners to work on their connection with the music, aka musicality. So once you know the rhythm and feel the rhythm, you can start trying this out with the first tool, bouncing on the beat. And some of you b-boys out there are like,
What the is this beginner right here?
But chill out, bro.
the good shit is coming. I just have to explain this because there are probably a lot of beginners that are watching this video. Also, you can use this information you have right now to teach your students how to feel rhythm and how to understand music. And now you can start practicing the rhythm with our second tool, stances and poses. And now with basic top rock, and then maybe a few hand gestures and burns, and then whatever you want. So once we have a good rhythm, we can start to zoom in and listen to a few more details, because break beats are actually beats that are a little cut up. They start to use what we call end counts, counts that are between counts. And by using your tools on your end counts, you're gonna make your dance a little more complex. But when doing this correctly, you connect And then we have what we call the one. When counting music as a dancer, we usually count from 1 to 8. That's how long a drum section usually is before it gets looped. That one count that starts the whole drum sequence usually is a heavy kick and carries more weight than other counts. Ideal for ending build-ups and executing freezes or burns. Also, using the one to execute transitions, slides, or basic steps can add up to extra points if used correctly. Dancers that always hit the one usually have a really good rhythm and a really good musicality. Try and always hit your one when dancing, but don't overdo it in a cheesy way. You don't want to be giving or hitting air chairs with every one. Because then you'll just become too predictable, and that's pretty boring. Choose the big ones you want to hit wisely, and then try and use the one in a subtle way, so we can enjoy your dance. And in some tracks, the beat just stops completely, or it changes style, creating a new section or build up. These changes in songs usually also happen on the one. And when these sections or build-ups reach their climax, that moment the beat falls back in, is also usually on the 1. And of course, some beat makers or musicians play with their creations and vary the beat drops, placing it on other moments. But usually these things start and finish on a 1. But what I'm actually trying to say here is use the different sections of the music in combo with the 1 to project your craft and raise the value of what you're doing. And to raise the value of your 1 even more, you have to learn how to prep yourself wisely on the count that falls before the 1, the 8. Prepping your 8 and setting yourself up for that 1 is a tip I believe you will only find with Coach Sambo.
Kinda weird, huh? The guy that was doing the power move tutorials?
Setting up for your 1 is the way to maximize the effect and cleanliness of whatever you're doing on the 1, showing complete control over your craft without rushing and trying to hit that 1 on time. That's why, to be honest with you guys, the 8 is as important as the 1. And I just want to remind you guys that when you're working on musicality, you want to stay as calm as you can. This will help you get in tune with the music so you don't overdo or rush your 1. And some tracks are gonna push you to your limit, but just stay calm, G. Also, something that is very common amongst breakbeats are accents. This usually hits on the 1, and sometimes the 5 is added on top of that. Like with this track that every b-boy probably knows. That's an accent on your 1. Like if you miss that, then you're probably deaf or something. But watch out, because there's a lot of music out there and not every accent on every track hits the 1. Every track is completely different, as the repeating accent might just hit on a 3 with every loop.
You never know.
And some tracks might just have more than 1 accent, so that's why you need to have a good ear. Like this random track, for example, where the accents hit on a 2 and a 6 and.